Oh hey there, you've caught me in my lyric writing station. I have just spent the last 2 hours writing what I think will be the last of the lyric sheets that will go in your care packages. This video is just for you, my top tier patron legends. And yes, over the last 3 weeks in kind of very concentrated chunks of 2 or 3 hours at a time, I've been writing out 130 something sheets of handwritten lyrics, which looks like this. Each pile is a different song. The more obscure ones that only maybe one person asked for over there, and this is actually crazy, and my hand hurts. But I felt like I learned a lot, and I wanted to speak a little bit about that. Naturally, writing out all of those lyrics to a ton of different songs made me very reflective, and it was an interesting exercise in a lot of different ways. I've heard it said before in a few places that musicians write the same song again and again and again for the rest of their lives. And I used to hear that and get really angry at it, because I was like, no, I wrote songs about relationships and friendships, people that I wish I knew, and my brain and my mental health and all these, the state of the world and all these things. I used to think of that quote and get quite defensive. But actually writing out all these different songs spanning from early YouTube, handlebars, postcards, to release songs early on, Devil on My Shoulder, Roots EP, moving forward, Lonely People, all of the Patreon demos, to the kind of new era of music that's come out from last year onwards. You guys picked from across the board. A lot of you picked really obscure ones. I hope you know that those of you who did pick obscure ones, you will probably be one of maybe the only person in the world that will just have a written version of those songs, especially the ones that I don't play anymore or are not online anymore. And I really hope that that idea means something to you, because it was really cool to go back and revisit songs that I had almost forgotten about, because there's only so much space in my head, so I gotta squeeze some of them out to make rooms for the new ones sometimes. So that was really interesting. Overthinking was by far the most requested song. It also is the song with the most amount of words in it that I've ever written. So just a warning to anyone that picked Overthinking, I just did the first verse all the way up to the end of the first chorus. I hope you understand. It's just not your fault for picking it, my fault for writing so many words and then rapping them really fast. So I hope that's okay. I did that with some of the longer songs. And I figured you'd rather have a nicely written one sheet with care and love and nice handwriting, rather than like a really sprawly, quick, badly done 2 or 3 sheets. It was very, very interesting going back to the sort of common thread between them. Something I noticed across the board was there are so many moments and lyrics in parts of my songs, sometimes not key lyrics, sometimes hidden in verses and middle eighths, but the prevailing thread that ran through so many of them was just not being able to speak my mind. I think lyrics about biting my tongue appeared 3 or 4 times in different songs. Let's go out and shout the words we never said. In Why Am I Like This? There's some biting my tongue that's in between my teeth as well. There's a lot of I wish I could tell you this and I can't. Whispers was the same from back in the day. Just a lot of that feeling dressed up in different ways, and I thought that was so interesting to me, because that's never been the central theme of the whole song, but that has appeared in different ways. I will say it also made me go back and reappreciate some songs that I thought I would cringe at. Anyone that makes things of any kind will know that your old art is sometimes hard to digest. But writing out the lyrics of Handlebars, carve out your future, no one else will do it for you, I think that's actually really cool still. Devil on My Shoulder, we're gonna regret these haircuts, maybe the best lyric I'll ever write. I think that's still relevant today. Look at this fringe. I mean, it's just, I'm definitely gonna regret this very soon. Expecting Too Much, I wrote that out for someone's daughter. In fact, I do want to say as well, thank you so much to anyone who just put in a quick note about why they picked that song. That really meant a lot to me. A lot of you picked Never Feels Quite Enough. the song I wrote about my granddad. It was a Patreon demo from a year or two ago. And a lot of you picked that. I remember one of you said, I'm a doctor and I get to see examples of kind of human strength in my everyday life, and that's why I relate to this song. And I was just like, how amazing is that? It's so cool. And also, it's a really interesting, as a purely sort of kind of from a very cold market research sort of point of view, it was very interesting for me to see which songs you connect to, because I didn't expect a lot of them. Like I said, Overthinking was by far the most requested. It's also the least played of any of my of that EP on Spotify. So it just goes to show, for me, I can't use metrics like Spotify or YouTube. They don't always correlate with like how much people actually return to the song and connect with the song. And I just think it was interesting. Yeah, I thought that stat was really interesting. Why Am I Like This was then definitely the second most requested. And just a couple of Patreon ones that I just didn't expect. A lot of you requested Not the End of the World. That was one from a while back. Some of you requested Overthinking, but the original version, which is way back. That's got to be in the first like 5 demos I ever put up on here. It's so cool. So yeah, very, very interesting. Some of you, and I want to say this as well, also responded to my message asking about what song you'd like, saying, don't send me a care package. I am not really here for that. Thank you anyway. Keep it up. And that was really interesting as well. It made me think a lot about the top tier group of you, how important you are to me in so many ways, on a purely statistic sort of base. You guys collectively contribute more than all of the 1,000 plus $1 patrons that I have. And so in that very kind of cold clinical way, you guys are literally making things happen. Just this group of you is responsible for the all of the recording of the last set of songs and EP, the tour that I went on earlier in the year, the tour that I will go on at the end of the year. If I get to make an album next year, it will just make literally such a difference. Music videos, artwork, all the things, all the cogs in this machine are very much being not just kind of oiled by you, but built by you. And that just means so much to me. And I guess I thought a lot when I was doing these lyrics and these packages for you, which I really hope that you like. I just thought a lot about God. There's really no amount of physical things I can put in this package to really say how much I appreciate these people. But it was nice to remind myself that you all hopefully benefit in different ways from this. Like, some of you are very involved in the community aspect of the Secret Demo Club, the Discord server, the comments, chatting to people, even meeting in real life sometimes, building a community that I can dip in and out of, but also exists in its own right. That's very important to me. The hangouts, all of that's so important to me. The second or the couple that are just, I like physical things. I like EPs and albums and vinyls that I own. I like merchandise. I have signed posters from artists that I love. Like, that stuff means a lot to me. And hopefully the care package will be that for some of you. And then also there are those of you who do just sit back. They don't engage. They don't comment. You just sit back, listen to the music, and just send words of encouragement, either every so often in a comment or message, or just kind of you just mean it. And that's also amazing. And I think there's something really cool about that to me as well. I know that there are so many of you who engage but don't engage in a visible way. That part of you, it's not about you, and you don't want to make it about you in any way, and I also respect that. And so I guess I just wanted to say, as I always do, thank you so much to everyone in the Secret Demo Club, but this time specifically you top tier guys, because really I think I'll spend my entire time ever just trying to explain to you how much it all means to me, but it's very hard to put it into words, but it really does mean the world. I was thinking a lot about my career so far, the last 3+ years of this, what the next 3+ years will look like, and I feel like I have so little control over so many aspects of my career, and so little control over aspects of the music industry, Spotify trends and record labels, music consumption, or will albums even be a thing in 2 years, and all of this kind of really up in the air things that kind of ultimately do affect me and where my career goes. The goalposts are always changing in those areas, and like, I guess every so often I'm reminded of how grateful I am for having a part of the internet and this group. It's just something I can control, and really seeing how much some of these songs have like meant to you, especially the ones that I wouldn't have properly released. The fact that those songs have reached you and stuck with you, and you like them, and maybe even love them, that's so cool to me. And it beyond the money side of it proves to me why this is a good thing, and that aspect of it not being wasteful with this music, showing you the process, like that's boiled down. That is what I wanted to achieve for the Secret Tema Club, and something about writing all these lyrics and putting these like physical packages together has reminded me that I have achieved that in some way, and there's still so much I want to do with this, but it was just a good benchmark and a good moment of reflection, I guess. So thank you so much. Like I said, I'm writing at the end of the lyrics. I want to send everything out at the same time because it feels fair to not leave those of you who responded to the message, till much later. So I'm bagging everything up next week. It should be sent out between next week and the first week of September. You're all over the world, so we'll see where you all get them, and then I'll follow up with some messages and make sure by at least the end of September that everyone has them. If not, we'll look at sending out some fresh ones, whatever we need to do. But thank you so much, guys. I love you endlessly, and I really mean it. So have a good day.